got the missive from the High Vessel, she asked if I'm at the guild still, and I said I'm not at the guild still because I'm not. I'm at my home. And so I said, but I can go to the guild or wherever. Because I was here because I was going to retire soon, but I was still kind of waiting for her to summon me because she said she was going to summon me after the festival. But I feel like it's been a while, but I don't really know. Maybe I should go to the guild? Should I be at the guild? Did she come to the guild? Ollie and I are on our way there. Okay. Okay. Hello.
Hey, PB.
Hi. It's very rainy out.
It is very much rainy.
I've asked Lucette to join us also because this information is stuff that kind of pertains to both of you. So hopefully she doesn't take too long, but
Okay. I don't know if I have a sitting space for all of us.
that's okay. We can I'm gonna make a meeting group situation thing. But I don't mind sitting or not sitting. It's all good.
Okay. There might be tables with benches up on the second floor.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, I do have some up here.
Lovely.
Perfect.
Tables with benches.
They don't really ever get used. I think I'm the one that eats at them the most.
Dear Lucette, we are upstairs.
Yeah. I told her we're at the guild on the second floor.
Yeah, I made the second floor, and I'm never on it. I only use it to get up to the third floor because the guild was only gonna have 2 floors originally, but then I realized I really wanted the balcony.
Hello. Hi.
We
So
have
I've
3 matching hair pieces.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna create a space and it'll just be 1, 2, 3.
Okay. There we go.
All right. Okay, so the main reason I've gathered you guys here centers around Paige. Fiori, at one point in time, you mentioned being sort of familiar with the last name. And I told you if I ever found out, I would let you know. I have found out in spades and figured it better to let you know than to withhold it, especially considering things that are going on recently. The Willowbeaks, I guess specifically Paige's parents, were the ones that signed the wolfkin contract, enforcing the wolfkins into the draft.
She was. I mean, I guess it would have been her parents, but...
Yes. However, the way that this affects Paige is that her mother was not a great person.
I'd assume not, given the draft.
Yeah. She also has taken the time and energy to curse Paige, as it were. She currently is under an obedience curse that she wants people gone. Myself and another family, not anybody of wolfkin origin anymore, but the Rose Falls. Currently, you are the only Rose Fall that I am aware of.
I didn't even know I had family, if I'm being honest.
I know that when I found you, you were alone. I don't know if you were the last of your lineage, but she has been commanded by this curse that I don't think she has any conscious control over to kill us both. And I am heavily guarded, of course. My concern lies with keeping you safe.
Yeah, do you know why
I
she's
have no
after
idea.
us both, or?
No, I know that with me, it plays into her mother and my mother potentially never wanting me to be an heir. Her
Right.
mom and my mom were very close, unfortunately. And I think there was a ploy to ensure that either Paige's mother or Paige herself were to take the throne. I naively played into that. And recently, these curses have been triggered again.
How are they triggered?
I'm not sure. I know
Okay.
that there's involvement from Skylar to some degree. I think they're trying to help more than hinder, but I have been kept pretty vaguely in the dark.
Right.
At the Waystone today when we arrived, Skylar actually asked me and Amelia, because we arrived with Lucette, to like keep Lucette away, but didn't give any details, and so we had just said that like we arrived at the Waystone together, but we weren't really going together. But if it was given in a more urgent, like, hey, this is a matter of life or death, we would have stuck around you.
Right. They made me aware, and I have had eyes on Lucette throughout the entire evening because I have not had a private moment. But that is why, and they are trying to keep it mainly under wraps for Paige's protection, which to some degree I understand.
Yeah.
However, we're faced with I can assign you a 24/7 protection detail. However, I don't know how feasible that is for when you are around versus when everyone else is around and all of those things.
Yeah.
They recommended, and I don't know how feasible this is either. I just want you to have transparency in all of the options that are put forward.
Of course.
Putting you in the witness protection program, as it were.
Okay. What does that entail then?
Creating a headstone, a death, changing the way you look, changing your name.
Oh. Okay.
I am working on getting Skylar to speak to me more. But with them holding all of the information, it is kind of like walking through molasses.
Yes.
But that sounds like it's punishing Lucette. Why should she be punished when it's not a thing to do with her?
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't even know what my family did. I don't even know them.
I'm not sure yet either.
I'm shaking.
My first instincts were more hostile than Skylar's, and I kind of hate to admit that. If worse comes to worse, there are things that I am not afraid to do.
Right.
But you both deserve the information, and if there is anything that you can think of that would make you more comfortable, especially among the decisions you've been given, I want to help in any way that I can.
Thank you.
Of course. Fiori, that goes for you as well.
I don't really know. I don't know Paige very well, and to be frank, I don't like Paige very much prior to knowing what her last name is tied to. And so that kind of escalates it, even if I know it's not entirely fair to her.
No, that's understandable. You all have different experiences with the war, and your feelings, regardless of whether you feel like they are realistic or not, are valid. Believe me, I've gone through the 5 stages of grief. Is it 5 stages? 9 stages? However many stages of grief, having to understand that somebody wants me dead to that degree also. So I just want to be as supportive as I can be.
Are we certain it's only you and the Rosefall family that are being targeted?
No. They have given me so very little information, and currently that's something that I'm fighting against with Skylar.
Isn't Paige meant to be an heir or something? I've heard rumor of it.
Mm-hmm.
There was talks. It's not official. Part of the concern that I have is that this curse came about almost immediately after I made that announcement. So there's a lot tied up in all of it.
Why is she under discussion of potentially being your heir?
Well, originally, before I had all of the knowledge that I now have, I noticed that there were certain strengths that Paige had that I do not have. She is capable of commanding a group. She's very friendly. She is well received, but she is also stern with running her own village. And there's a lot of things that I still struggle with. But with the recent information now, I'm not sure how that is going to go.
And the reasoning you're going from Shrieking Rain to passing it off?
From Shrieking to Wolfkin?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, I do not wish for the Shrieklings to ever rule consecutively ever again. And I think coming out of war as recently as we have, and this is of no offense to the flower spirits.
You're fine.
The Wolfkins are stronger, in a sense. They are able to balance out the hostility of the Shrieklings and the softness of the flower spirits in a transitionary period. And I think they have also been the most oppressed. They are the ones that deserve to have voices heard the loudest.
And you think giving that position to a Willowbeak that was so heavily in the oppression of all of us Wolfkins, I understand that around the castle, I'm the only Wolfkin that participated in the draft, and we don't talk much. But your citizens aren't the only, just aren't people who live around here. And if you want Wolfkins to feel more comfortable, putting a Willowbeak on the throne is going to do the complete opposite. It's terrifying.
I know. It's something that I've come to realize and something that I'm working on as well. That's part of why I wanted to come and talk to you about it, is because I found this information and realized that it was a mistake that I had made, and it is something that I am working to make better.
And I know I'm not saying it's Paige's fault or anything like that. It's just I'm also thinking of like the perspective of just the name, realizing what it's tied to. It's a terrifying name, and if the purpose of a Wolfkin is to help with peace and the transitionary period, I think it's just going to reinforce the fear instead.
I agree. We have spoke briefly, but there is possibility of putting somebody else in that position, especially now, with her wanting me and Lucette both dead and some of the other actions they've displayed. I think one of them, the options being Oliver.
That's a lot of pressure.
Being an heir is a lot of pressure in general.
I thought
But
okay, when you said
it's not something you have to decide right now, and it's not something that I'm pushing for. I'm fine with not having somebody in Paige's spot for until we can get it all figured out. I'm also fine with potentially putting a flower spirit in that spot. I know that things do not always go to plan, especially when it is considering the actions of others. I just have to do the best with what I have.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
I came to the coronation pretty scared, and so I hung around Ophelia because I know Ophelia is a safe person because she healed me a lot during the war. But you have never done anything to make me doubt your intentions that you've stated.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Because like I said, I know you're not responsible for your parents' actions, and I don't want to hold people responsible for their parents' actions.
But to some degree,
the fear remains.
yeah. Just because it is one person's truth does not mean it is another's. Your truth is that Willowbeaks are terrifying, and I understand that completely. And that has to be considered just as anything else does. I apologize that I'm coming to you with this after a decently fun night.
It's okay. Are you doing okay though with all of this? How are you holding up?
I carry on.
I respect that a lot. But, if you need anything, like, we're here for you.
I appreciate that.
If you need away from the castle, my village has extra houses. You might have to room with somebody, though.
I actually have not seen your village yet. I would love to eventually see it.
It's just back there. Dorothy hasn't had any more kids.
Oh. I think that is
probably for
probably
the
a good
best.
thing.
I was really worried about her for a while.
There's other worried things to be worried about with those villagers, but that's not a discussion for now, really. Unless you want it to be.
I am giving you guys the floor for whatever it is that you, if you have questions, if you have concerns, to speak with me as candidly as you need to so that I can do what I need to help make sure that this is safe and home for you as well.
I'm trying to think. With my farm, I'm wondering if it would be possible to extend it and have someone else partially own it as well. Because I need to rename it as well, because I named the farm after my surname, so I probably won't be staying there for a while. But I'm wondering if someone can take over for a little bit as well.
Yeah, I'm sure we can do that. If anything, I myself can check in and make sure that things are operating well.
Thank you.
Of course.
I'm also trying to think of where I can stay.
I have inn rooms. I have to clean them, though.
That's okay.
I mean, you're also welcome in the castle.
Really? That's like really fancy though.
Well, it's the most heavily guarded place in all of the realm.
Oh, I mean, true. Would that be okay?
Of course.
Thank you.
I can help set up a room for you. I can't assure you that, I mean, the Waystone being as close as it is to the castle, it is heavily trafficked, but it's also heavily guarded, so that's up to you.
I think I would feel safe there, if I'm being honest.
Okay, we can do that.
If you're okay with it, of course.
Of course.
Thank you.
I think in this situation that I would probably feel uncomfortable having you anywhere else.
I just find it weird to target a flower sphere. From my impression, like, no offense, but your
You're fine.
origin is one to be guarded and protected.
I agree.
Yeah. I think I just want to know what my parents did. Assuming it was parents anyway. I
can't
have no
imagine it
idea.
did anything bad if the curse is coming from her mom.
Yeah, but
Her mom
there
did
has to be
sort
some
of
kind of
sign away
reason.
Wolfkin when she had no place to.
Yeah, it sounds horrible. But on the plus side, though, you have a much nicer ruler now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I am certainly trying.
And
You're doing great.
you are. And
Thank you.
being candid, I will say I really don't like the thought of Paige being an heir.
Okay.
Or ever
As
having
of-
the risk of being under a Willowbeak.
Okay.
As of right now, I kind of agree, especially with this curse. It sounds really unpredictable, and if people might get hurt.
I agree.
And if she
Yeah.
harms someone of another kingdom, that's gonna create issues for you.
Ex-
Yeah.
I have made Larinthia aware, and with Paige staying with Skylar, I assume they are aware. It was also spoken about at our meeting last night, so rulers are aware now. There will be no official paperwork signed, probably for her ever, but at least, at the very least, until I have every amount of information and proof beyond reasonable doubt that any curse is broken. But again, if this is something that is important and going to make anybody uncomfortable, it's not something that I can support.
Like, even if the curse is broken, and even if I grow fond of Paige, I'm still just one wolfkin among the many, many packs who do not know Paige, and all they know is the terror of the Willowbeaks and their enforcers dragging them from their homes to fight.
I agree. And that is something that, just because I was not on the front lines of war, that I cannot let go. As Shrieklings have elitely ruled for millennia and not had any consideration for any of the other origins, that is something that I seek to end. And I think, personally, that if not with this information, then where? Because this information is more important than anything I've dealt with, I think, as far as keeping you guys safe. So, and even if that
you're
is,
doing a good job.
thank you, even if it's emotionally and mentally safe, safe is safe. And I don't know that I will ever be able to trust that it won't return the curse or the intentions or whatever. Your family that assisted in the war, and your family, and every Wolfkin family, Atticus's family, that is more important to honor.
The thought terrifies me. And the High Vessel, if she chooses
Thank you.
to keep Paige as an
It is
heir,
good.
that would be her making the choice of
Of course,
making all of us really scared. And
might
that
not always be the
terrifies me.
fastest in circulating information, but I will always make sure that those who need the information have it.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I was stressing during the festival.
I'm sorry. If
No,
it
no,
helps,
it's okay.
if it helps, there was very, very, very rare moments where you were not within the eyesight of somebody within the court. So
Yeah.
Mm.
I think it was just because Skylar like scared me a bit.
I would have felt so guilty if something did happen because I would have just
Oh, please never do.
Skylar had just said, "Hey, like if you're walking with Lucette, don't take her straight to Sky or to Paige," and that doesn't really get across the severity of the situation. That's just assuming like Paige was maybe upset or you guys had this dispute.
My concern is, yes, I am technically Paige's ruler, but with Skylar having all of the information on what is going on with her, how much accountability falls to them?
Can Skylar be using the information for bad?
I don't know. He did
Very
say
possible.
that there is a list of words, so to speak, that trigger the curse. He did say that there is a list of people that know all of those words, and I am not among them.
So she's a walking time bomb, and
She's like
Skylar and some others have what is needed to light the fuse. So if
Essentially.
Wonderful.
someone happens to upset one of the people who know the words, then essentially they are being marked to be killed.
Is it marked to be killed or just a trigger of the curse? If so, how easily can this curse be broken?
That's my worry. Is Skylar said that this curse is centuries old, as old as Paige is herself, and that it's proven more difficult for him to even attempt to break it. And now there's people walking around with trigger words, and the main target on that list, and this is not your responsibility whatsoever, but the main target on that list is me.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I was only 12 when I left my pack, but when wolves were of a risk of endangering their fellow pack members, they weren't allowed to return home.
That was something that I also brought up, was imprisonment, exile, and execution. I have been all but turned down at every avenue with those suggestions.
But I hate the idea of execution, but or like all of that, but also how fair is it for Paige?
I agree.
It sounds like it's not fair for her either. And it's not her fault. But at what point
It's not her
does it go
fault,
to?
but she's a danger.
She's a liability.
If someone had a really like contagious illness that we didn't have a cure for, as unfortunate as it was, they would be isolated so they wouldn't infect the rest of the pack.
Yeah.
Skylar's concern with isolation was that it would hinder healing.
But is there any healing?
I don't know. Unfortunately, one of the downfalls that I have is I am not privy with magic. I have to choose to trust the knowledge that Skylar has being part of the Spellbound Order.
Right. But like hypothetically, let's say she downed either one of us. What then? Like, what if she just attacked one of us? What would happen at that point?
In the case that she attacked me, it would no longer be in my hands.
Right.
If she downed you, I could make the argument for her. But there's only so much that I can do before the other realms get involved, and it's the politics behind killing somebody, that it's the repercussions are very steep.
Yeah.
And they don't, I have final word to some degree, but I also, being someone that values the opinions of my entire court, there's a lot of opinions going around right now. As
I can imagine.
realistically as they should be. It's a situation that there's not really a win in. And it's not really black and white, because somewhere underneath all of that, Paige still exists.
Yeah.
There's never
feel so
going
bad
to
for her.
be a 100% right decision in anything you make. You have to just weigh the pros and cons and the risks and make what
Exactly.
you think would be best. And so you mentioned not knowing much about magic, and so you just have to go off what Skylar says, but what about finding a mage that isn't with the spellbound order?
It's possible. I've considered speaking with Ophelia. I've also considered speaking to Mayrin. I don't have as much of a relationship with her, and I'm not sure if she is part of the spellbound order or not.
She
I'm not entirely-
has.
Very earlier.
She
She
called Skylar her sensei at one point.
Mm.
I remember that. I know that there's also a mage from the Nether
Elio.
that I do not have a relationship with,
Elio.
but there's potential of reaching out in that situation as well.
They're really nice.
They taught me how to make potions. I'm not making potions here.
I currently wasn't concerned. I'm sure I would have went home and thought about it and maybe had questions, but at this moment I wasn't concerned.
I asked to learn fire-resistant potions to have at the guild in the Nether, and then I asked to be taught weakness potions, so if a villager gets infected, I can cure them.
That's understandable. But yes, there's a slurry of options, for sure. But I currently, my priority is keeping the both of us safe, and then moving forward from there. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that Paige would let any other mage get close enough to her to even be able to tell what the curse is.
But that would... Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm always open to hear.
If she's refusing to let another mage examine her, then she's choosing to not have other options, and she's choosing to still be a danger when that mage could potentially help her where Skylar couldn't. And so she is choosing and taking on that responsibility of her actions.
True.
It's wise.
Yeah.
It's very wise. Either way, I am not positive that it is something that will be solved tonight, and I hope neither one of you fault me for that.
Sorry, can I quickly ask?
Of course.
How did you figure, how did you know that I was going to be on, the hit list for Paige?
Skylar told me.
How did Skylar find out?
I'm not sure. Paige had written me a letter that said that she was only having brief moments of clarity and that she was afraid of herself. And I brought it up that scared me because I know that Paige has friends everywhere. And like Fifi mentioned her fear that she's, how do you know that it is only you and Lucette on the hit list? I asked, how do I know that it is only me? How do I know that these moments of clarity versus moments of unclarity do not put her friends in danger? And he came back to me a short time later, I think it was potentially even the next day, and said that after reviewing the letter, he had made somewhat of a breakthrough with her, and that there was another family that the curse targeted. And all he knew at that point in time was the last name Rosefall.
Okay. I might ask him more about it later because I need to figure out what is going on.
That's fair.
I feel like you
Yeah.
should have been like filled in with full details right away by Skylar if he talked to you before the festival.
Yeah, he kind of just told me like Rosefall's not like no longer my surname for like the day and like for the upcoming few weeks, and that had me worried. And to just stay away from Paige, so I kind of wish he just told me that a little bit more. But
Yeah.
at least I know now.
Yeah.
I don't think Paige wants people finding out about her condition. I overheard, I was with Amelia, and Amelia apparently had gotten a letter regarding something about Paige, and so she mentioned it to Paige, and then Paige was like, "You're sending letters about me?" I forget who was on the group about it, but
Oh.
Interesting.
Hmm.
I hate to say it, but at this point, with as dangerous as she is, I feel like it is public duty to ensure that the people around her and close to her are aware.
if
If you're going to be a walking threat, then people should know.
within my opinion, if keeping it a secret is done with the intention of guarding her because it might put her in danger, her last name does it enough as is for any wolfkins that have vengeance on their mind.
And
So
also,
I
by not
don't
saying anything. Oh, sorry.
think adding like the curse being common knowledge, especially if it's the curse being common knowledge, probably isn't going to spread past close to the castle. So it's only going to really affect those who know Paige and lets them know to be on guard just in case.
I agree.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, by not telling people how many people are being put in danger because of the lack of information, I suppose.
Very.
Very.
And I'm not sure how strong Paige is, but if she does go loose and attack somebody, she could possibly very easily, it won't end at just downing them.
Right.
Yeah.
I am more concerned about Paige's friends. She seems to have a very, very loyal circle of friends that are of many different origins that are exceed the strengths that she would have alone as a wolfkin.
I was speaking with Roinar earlier just about Paige, very briefly, just. Yeah, but he seems very close with Paige. Like, really
Interesting.
close.
I have
But
information, but
Sorry.
I've been told Ronar and Paige are soulmates. So
Isn't Roinar dating Enya?
from what Inya said at the sleepover, it's like soulmates, and like I can attest to this. You soulmates can be platonic. It doesn't have to be romantic, but soulmates will die for each other. So Raynar
So that-
could be a threat, even if he doesn't entirely mean to be. If Paige is targeted, even if Paige goes loose and is attempting to kill somebody, and someone tries to stop Paige, there's a very good chance Raynar will instead attack the person who's trying to stop Paige.
Roinar's name is also on the list of people that have the trigger words.
Ah, so who knows all the trigger words then? Are we allowed to know the names?
Roinar, Helia, and Skylar.
Okay.
And Skylar told me that if Paige were to start acting erratic, like 1 second to another, completely a different person, that it would be those 3 people that would be called into incrimination, because it would mean they are using her as a weapon.
Right. How worried should we be about the words? Are they like really vague words or are they like very specific? Because I'm worried some poor person might just say a random word around a page.
I don't know. He did not give me that list.
Ah, okay.
But it
So everyone that has the
makes-
words use her as a weapon, and not a single one is of the kingdom that she primarily resides in.
Yep. And it concerns me that even those not super involved in the situation can see that she is essentially a walking weapon and still struggle to want to put any kind of restrictions on her.
She has no restrictions currently.
She's just being seen by Skylar. The most that we have been able to do without backlash has been assign me a 24/7 guard detail.
At the bare, I know you're probably doing your best, but the bare minimum, even if it's not a guard with her, there should be a requirement that she constantly has to have someone by her side that isn't who she doesn't consider someone she might attack.
Right.
Because then that means she won't come across someone by themselves that she does attack, and because if she has someone with her, they can at least stop her and help the other person. But if she's by herself and she's allowed to walk by herself and she comes across someone solo, there's no, we might not even find the person.
I agree. It's something that I have been fighting Skylar essentially with, among others, for the past 4 or 5 days.
I don't know if like I don't know if you said this statement or if like you could use a statement to help your argument, but I think the comfort of Paige comes below the life of somebody else. Because I understand Paige is a victim to it, but it's why is her life and comfort valued more than somebody else's?
I brought up that, in my opinion, the safety of the many outweigh the safety of the few, and was told that anything that happens from Paige right now, as it stands, is my fault and under my accountability.
Then he shouldn't be arguing against her being restrained. He's not giving you any options, and he
I've been
sounds
backed
like
enough into a corner that the option that I have is I can't necessarily even get to Paige. I just have to be guarded.
I have very mixed feelings about Paige being allowed out and about right now.
I do too.
So
At any
sorry.
given time, with her going to Wolvenshire, being at the Waystone, especially by herself, I could just be checking the mail. I could be getting emeralds from the toll pass. I could be going to the kitchen, to the garden, to Ollie's blacksmith shop. And if I were to be unattended for that brief moment, anything could happen. And at this point, in the eyes of those that are closest to her, it would be my own fault.
I mean,
if...
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you can go on first.
Oh, okay, sorry, I was just going to say, on the plus side though, you have at least people around you for the most part. I'm worried about not just myself, but anyone same as me who we don't casually have like the guards and stuff.
I agree.
And
I think
sorry.
I think the moment that somebody else was involved should have changed the circumstances.
Yeah. And the worst part is we don't know if it's just us two. I mean, What if some poor random person just went to the Waystone, reading up on the notice board, and then Paige comes along?
Yeah.
That could be me, it could be anyone, we just don't know.
And the difference in the argument that they made when I presented that was that anyone could die at any given time, and the difference, in my opinion, is that this is a known threat versus unknown threats.
That their defense is stupid. Because
Could be.
yes, anyone can die at any time, but in this circumstance, if someone were to die, they're just gonna blame you because they're not letting you do what you think needs to be done.
And it's not your fault. You shouldn't have the responsibility.
I agree. But I am working to figure it out.
I don't know Skylar, but I know a lot of people don't like Skylar. Apparently.
I'm learning that soon. I'm learning that as well.
And so who's to say that Skylar isn't actively petitioning for Paige to be walking free so that the whatever she does can be used to be held against you to gain power over you. And it could go past Skylar, it could go to the kingdom itself. I understand that it might upset her friends, but the risk isn't just the fact that someone might die. The risk could also turn it into another war potentially, because if Paige attacks somebody and then it happens to be someone in another kingdom, the other kingdom's going to blame you and not Paige. Or if they do want Paige and you get Paige up, then you're going to have them upset with you anyways about giving Paige up. There's no winning in the situation. It's just minimizing the losses.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not to be mean or anything, but why is Skylar really defensive of Paige, who's not even of the same realm as him?
I don't know. There's part of me that isn't curious if they weren't the one that triggered the curse to begin with. And they're struggling to not want to be found out.
So
and that's the suspicious part of me. I don't know that that's the truth. But
you deserve to be suspicious because did Skylar and Paige have any relationship prior to this?
I don't know. Not that I know of. I know that Paige and Roynar, I guess, are close. I did see them at the Flower Festival, but for the most part, as the overworld knows, Paige has stayed in Wolvenshire or other realms, so...
And my thought is not thoughting correctly.
You're okay.
I don't know Skylar's character. I haven't engaged with him too much. But it also brings in the question, if he is just doing this for Skylar out for Paige and protecting her out of the goodness of his heart, is he someone who would do that? It might be worth just, I don't know, maybe asking someone that knows him what type of personality Skylar has, and if it isn't one that is like giving, I would have suspicions on him of his intention.
I can potentially arrange a more intimate meeting with the End at the very least. Maybe press for some information.
It's like, I don't know, because I know when people are healers, I know healers tend to be a little bit more compassionate, but I also know healers aren't always compassionate. Like, I know Ophelia is very compassionate, and she helped me a lot and took care of me a lot, But I also know that that's not the case for everybody. Some people go into medicine because it interests them and not particularly because they care for patients.
I could see that too. But as far as magic is concerned, the reason that we have the laws that we do, I know that they are a little silly, but I believe that magic is a very high responsibility. I think that falling into the wrong hands, or even hands that are not even 100% sure of what it is that they are doing or using, can be incredibly dangerous. And that is one of the things that Skylar is proficient at, is magic and being part of the order, and he is very willing to fight for it as well, and that alone is enough to give me pause to some degree. I know that they're very confident. I don't know if confident's the word. That's the nice word.
Yeah, they're very
in
prideful.
in their abilities, and it does make me curious that, first of all, what was she doing with him if he was the one that triggered the curse? And second of all, why is he fighting because he cares for her, or is he fighting to save his own ass, essentially? Excuse my language.
You're okay.
I could have a third. It could be fighting because he cares for her, saves his own ass, or it could also be with malicious intentions of using her.
Using her as a weapon. I don't know. I think it worth speaking to somebody else about at this point. I appreciate the both of you being willing to talk to me about it. I know that it is strange to have the ruler of your realm seek opinion or advice, but it has meant a lot to me. Aside from Atticus and Collie, Oliver and Fiori and Lucette, you are some of the ones in this situation particularly that I value the opinions of the most. So,
Thank you.
of course, you are the ones that'll be affected the most. And I will do what I can.
I should probably write a will at some point, just in case.
Oh,
Wills
I've
manifest
considered-
death.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Mm.
I've considered it, but I also agree with the sentiment that I feel like everyone that I've known that has written one has fallen shortly thereafter. So
Yeah, I might just say it
Oops.
verbally. You can own everything I own.
oh,
You beat me to it. I was gonna say.
I have a differing
Take every-
answer. I'll let myself go back to my pack. But
I will make sure that that happens as well.
I would hope maybe if one of them want to take over the Adventure Girl that they would be allowed to, but
Of course. I will assure that your belongings and your legacy go to your kin. And I will do my best to take care of the farm the best that I can while your name is not your name, and if something were to happen.
Yep.
my house is right by your farm, so I can also just stop by and feed the animals too.
Oh yeah, that would be most appreciated.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'm going to stay there for a while.
That's completely understandable. We will make sure that the animals are checked in on and that you are updated as often as possible.
Thank you.
Of course. At the very least, that way, if you are to want to go finish your dock or whatever, with you being in the castle, you can grab a night on your way.
Yeah. Thank you.
The hard part is, does Paige know you?
Yes, not that well, but she knows me.
Is there risk
So-
of Paige well, maybe not. It's gonna be the risk of Paige mistaking Ophelia for Lucette because they both have dark hair and they're both flower spirits, but they also both smell different.
Yeah, I think me and Ophelia look a little too different, but should I speak with Ophelia just in case?
Possibly.
I'm just like thinking if she's not in her right mind under the curse, it might. And she's just thinking of Roseful and then thinks of you, and it's like not.
Yeah,
Get a confused target situation.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I
I
will
don't want
speak to
Ophelia getting hurt.
No, neither do I. I'll speak with Ophelia next time I can. I will also speak with Skylar, but just to find out if he knows anything about my family or my background or why he just specifically after me. Because that'd be nice to know.
I can imagine that it would at least give you some sort of direction. I would like to know as well, so that I know what
Yeah.
I'm working with here.
If I find anything, I will let you know. No matter if it's bad or not. I'd rather you be aware of these things. And if my family has done something, whether it's to the Willowbeaks or anyone, I'd much rather you be aware of it.
Of course. And bear in mind that I do not, if there is something to be found that is negative, you are not your parents. I do not hold you to that.
Right. It's weird to think about my family, if I'm being honest.
I
I
can
just wish I
imagine.
could remember them.
Unfortunately, I do remember my family, but that is a tale for a different day, I suppose.
That's okay.
I'm sure Dorothy would be willing to adopt you.
Oh.
I would love that. Dorothy, I'm coming for you, baby.
I was gonna say Dorothy might have to be my new family too.
Oh my gosh. Also,
I-
if it's okay. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say I'm probably going to speak with to Athena about this because she's my friend. I tell her everything now.
Yeah,
And
of
also,
course.
I kind of want people to know about it so people can just be careful around Paige.
Well, and the more eyes that are on you, especially those that are your friends that
Mm.
care about you, I think the better.
off the
Yeah.
In my opinion, Athena is, to what I know, would be a good person to talk to because this isn't private information, but Athena is working towards opening a therapy clinic in the Nether. I just gotta sort out her business paperwork.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think that everyone could use a little therapy.
Yeah.
Me,
Everyone.
I think even you.
I'm right as rain.
Okay.
If you act like nothing's
Maybe
wrong,
someday.
then you can pretend nothing's wrong.
Exactly.
See, I act like nothing's wrong for a long enough period, then I just blow up at people. And that's not great.
I've been waiting for the blow up since I met you. I haven't seen it yet.
Believe me, I'm doing my best.
I'm
Wait,
apparently
Just
good at
remember-
forgetting
oh, sorry.
things. Given
Oh.
I forgot the name.
Just remember you're allowed to crash out. It's okay.
And
Thank you.
I can't speak for everyone, but I think all of us around this table will not judge.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
And at the end of the day, you are a princess. And I also very much acknowledge that Shrieklings are extremely strong and are stronger physically than wolfkins. So,
Yes.
like,
It has been. It's been brought up a couple of times that if something were to happen and I were to be caught alone, that I am dangerous. And I acknowledge that, and I don't necessarily wish for it to go that way. But as somebody who has preservation skills. I
You only
suppose
have
we just
one
hope
life.
that doesn't happen. Exactly.
And
I
everyone
suppose
should
we just
value
hope
their
it doesn't
life.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay. I think I need some time to wrap my head around everything that has happened this evening. You are
course.
welcome to grab whatever it is that you need. And there is the secondary tower, or there is even potentially an empty room near my own bedroom, if you are interested.
There's 3
It's
in the
your call.
basement.
Yes, there's also
There's not a
bedrooms
lot of
next to
sunlight down
Oliver's.
there.
There's a
Yeah.
There's 3 other
basement.
rooms down there.
I don't mind. I will let you decide because I'm happy to go wherever.
Okay. Where I don't know how much of the castle you've been in. Where do you not shake? Where are you not cold?
Near like the front, like near the entrance bit, it's around that area. I think it cuts, like, there's a cut off quite early though, so.
So the
Room next to yours is probably the best one.
Okay. I will go and get that ready for you, and you are welcome to just come and get settled, and I will make the others aware.
Thank you.
Of course.
Am I good to go in tonight? Will that be
Yes,
okay?
of course.
Okay.
Yes.
If you want, you could just put a sign on the door, and I will surely find it.
Okay.
Thank
Fiori,
you.
if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out, and I promise I will continue unscrambling the web that has been woven.
Thank you for filling me in.
Of course. You deserve the information just as much as anyone else. I will go get started on that. Before I retire, because it'll be a minute, if you need anything, don't hesitate to missive me. Afterwards, don't hesitate to write me a letter or anything like that, okay?
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Of course.
Hey, Fifi.
Mm-hmm.
Could I post a quest real quick before we all leave?
What is the quest you're wanting?
I need a Juggernaut band.
Juggernaut band?
Yeah. I'm willing to pay 2 stacks of emerald blocks for it.
Hello, pancake.
Okay, I'm not gonna post it on the quest board tonight, but I can post it
Is that your
tomorrow.
name,
And can you give me
Hi.
the emeralds?
There's
Yeah,
a cat
my
named
Pancake.
Pancake the Panther.
Yeah, it looks like he face planted too hard on the
They're not even
ground.
panther colored.
And
They're
then
so cute.
need 1 for the guild fee,
Mhm.
right?
Windy. Oh, they're well cute. Yes, I will go speak with Skylar. Thanks again. Bye.
Of course. Bye.
Wait.
What am I meant to do with this information? She seemed like she agreed with what I said, and that she also thinks that Paige is a danger, and she thinks that I value the lives of the many over the lives of the few. But she's also, whenever she said that and she got backlash, she backed down rather than holding firm. So is she just gonna back down again? Or, well, maybe since I'm supporting her other opinion, and maybe she just feels like she needs more people to support her, so she doesn't feel like she's making like decisions on her own. But I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. Why did I not realize that the Willow? I should have known the Willowbeak name. I should have known the name. I should have known the name. I should have known the name. I should have known it. Why did I not remember the name? I should have known it. I've been around and I know she's not her parents, but How could I not remember what the name was of the people that are responsible for all the people that were dead? All the pack members that were forced to fight, even though we were a combat pack, we didn't fight. We lived in the desert, so we didn't have to fight. We lived there, so we would have territory disputes because we didn't want to fight other people. And then the Willowbeaks signed the contract, and we had no choice. We had no choice, and now I know many of them are dead. I say that I procrastinated in going back to see my pack because I wanted to get the guild running and my master of coin duties, but it's really just because I'm scared to go back and see all the empty houses and seeing just how many my family's dead and that we lost. I'm scared. Once I go, it's gonna make it a reality. It's gonna make it a reality that they're not coming back and that the dead are dead and that my pack is broken. There's not many that I know are still alive. It's just the people who got excluded from the draft because they were seen as able to fight. But everybody else that had the ability to pick up a weapon and could wield it, they had to go. They had to go, and if they didn't, we risked the safety of those who couldn't. Amelia. I'm sorry it's sudden.
What happened?
I don't know. I don't think I can go into too many details because it involved a serious meeting and everything like that, but I've come to learn and realize that there was a name, a family name that I should have remembered because of how much they harmed my pack and everybody else, and then learning that I've been around the person who's of that family. And I forgot the name. I let down all my family and all the people who are dead because I forgot the name.
Oh, Fifi.
I was an information winner during the war. I should have known the information and I forgot it.
You had a lot going on. You can't blame yourself. I'm so sorry, Fifi.
And then just I just feel really stupid and
No, you're not stupid. I mean, you didn't mean to forget it. You had a lot going on, and if you did forget it, it probably was to protect yourself.
I confused it with I wrote down lots of names during the war. I wrote down the names of those who died that I knew the packs of so I could go tell their loved ones that they died, and I confused the name for one of those. And so that means I mixed up the name of the family that is the reason they're dead with someone who actually died. With someone who's lost their family.
Fifi.
And parents that lost their children. I wronged them. That isn't information that I should have forgotten. I shouldn't have confused it with someone who was just fighting to live.
I hear you. Let's go inside and sit down, okay? Or do you want to stay out here?
We can go inside. Oh.
Go ahead. I'm right by you, don't worry. Oops.
Oh.
Let me see it.
Mm.
I don't care about my floors right now. I care about you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry I can't give more details, but it was a meeting with the High Vessel, and it involves other people too, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I could ask if I could share the information, but there's also wanting to respect privacy, and
Mm-hmm. I'm just sorry I can't really help you that much.
like, I don't blame the person because they wouldn't have been the ones to have done the thing. But it's the fact that I forgot the information, confused it with a completely innocent family that, or could have been innocent family.
Again, you had so much going on during the war. I don't think they're gonna be angry or upset with you that you confused it.
And then it just, during the meeting, I didn't want to be super emotional about it because I also didn't want to be biased on the situation because it was a whole lot of stuff dumped all at once.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. You can cry in front of me. You can. I don't care what you do as long as you're okay.
And at the festival, I did overhear you mention about getting something about a letter about Paige, and so I assume you know about Paige's circumstances at the moment.
Kind of. I got. There's a letter on me. Hold on. Let's see. Not in this one. Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's okay. Is it this one? No. I think it's up in my room. Can I go up to my room real quick? Will you be okay? Okay. Or do you want to come with me?
I'll come with.
Okay. I think. Is it in here? I think it's this one. Yes, this is what I got from Skylar.
Her situation. And I'm sure given Paige's response to finding out that Skylar sent you a letter kind of tipped off that Paige doesn't want the information spreading around.
See, I didn't know. I just knew that, well, here. Let's go back downstairs. But I mean, I knew that Paige got kidnapped by cultists, and then recently Paige came back, but I remember Paige's condition wasn't going well in the overworld, so Paige was gonna go to the end for treatment, I think. Is what I remember. Either she told me or I overheard it. But I'm assuming it was a curse, and that's why the condition is not treatable in the overworld, because it's worse.
I don't really know all the full details, but I just wanted to ask that if you ever are with Paige, have a third person present. Because the meeting, one of the people in the meeting, it was because she could potentially kill them. And it was stated that we don't know if there's other people she might target. And I don't want her to target you, and I want to just say stay away from her, but I also don't want to dictate who you hang out with and who you're friends with. And if it's a curse, it's not her fault, and I acknowledge it's not her fault if it's a curse, but I also don't want you to get hurt. And so, since I want to respect your wishes and not her have to be treated like a villain for something that's out of her control, I want you to at least not be alone with her.
I'll make sure I have a third person around.
And I'm not sure if I was supposed to really spread the information or not, but I didn't want to have the information and then you do get hurt.
My lips are sealed. I'll just make it seem like I just want to bring a buddy when I go see Paige. I know Kyanite will always be down to go see Paige, I think, and
Kyanite would be good. Kyanite, Shrieklians are very strong, and so she can protect you. Or stop Paige if Paige does something.
Well, I'll make sure to stay safe. I won't go meet Paige alone. I'll make sure I have a buddy. But I don't... You know, it was brought up to me as a curse. Or, yeah, the whole curse situation. It was brought up to me as a curse, so I don't want to, you know, just leave her be just because it might be a curse. You know, if it's not a curse, then that's a whole other story, but it could be a curse, so...
That's why I'm saying I don't want to ask you to stay away from her completely. Just don't be near her alone. Because I know that if it's a curse, she's a victim of it. But if she does go rogue because of the curse and kill somebody, that's still a life lost, and I don't want it to be yours. Because if you are alone and she does something like that and the curse is in effect, she's not gonna help you back up.
Yeah. I'll make sure I'm safe.
Like, I know you're building your bakery and everything over there, so I know you're gonna be over there. I just hope that you have someone.
I got that done. I just kind of trying to find a time that would be good to, I guess, officially open it. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the rest of it, but I you know, got it done. We don't have to look right now. We can look another time. I'm not super in a rush to open the bakery. Maybe a little, but this is more important.
I just don't want you to get hurt.
I know. That's why I'm preoccupying myself with the sniffies now. The very nice present that this very pretty lady called Fifi, she gave me a sniffer egg, and so I built them an enclosure.
I made a tiny enclosure for the foxes behind my house and gave them water.
Ooh!
I didn't
Can I
have
go see?
I didn't have any moss to put in there with them, but I want to add
Oh.
moss.
I have more moss. Come here. I still need to sort my chest. There's... I don't know how much you need, but here's the stack.
Thank you. I don't need many. I was
and-
just gonna make some moss carpet to lay over the grass.
Oh, and I have moss carpets on me as well. Do you have any spare wood by chance? Because I'm making a bunch of campfires to use as the roof over there, and I can't remember how many more I need, but I need a few more.
I can definitely get you wood. I think I might have some in my house, and if not, I have some at the Adventure Guild. Because I have that one quest that people give me 8 stacks of dark oak logs.
Oh.
So I just kind of collect those, which I did use a lot for the village. Do you know about the village I built behind my house?
Yes,
Behind the guild. And the walls made out of dark oak logs.
Oh, it's so cute. Oh, look, and they're gonna be friends. The Sniffies will be able to see. Be great friends.
Oh, they're zooming about a lot. Nice one that has some more texture in their pin. Is this pin good enough for them, or do you think it's still not good?
It might need a little bit more water.
Like maybe I can make this whole little corner section water?
Yeah, maybe. Still need to add water in the Sniffies place. But I think this should be good for the foxes. Actually, no, I think it should be good. I think you only need to have like a water block per. I would definitely have to check with Lucette. Oh, let me see. Lucette.
I know you're using campfires for your roof, but it looks like there's arson going on.
Yeah, because I haven't put them out yet. How many blocks and blocks of water does 2 boxes need? We shall see soon. Can we go grab that wood because I want to finish this up so I can
yes,
get the
yes,
eggs
yes.
in. If that's okay. Oh, I was also working on the area down there too. I don't know if you noticed.
Which area?
Oh.
Oh, that one.
So you have room to build whatever you want over there, if you want.
Okay. I couldn't remember if you said I could do the fox pin behind me or if it was supposed to be down there.
Yeah, nope, you can do it wherever. This whole space back here is yours.
I went downstairs. There is almost 2 stacks of dark oak logs in here, and you can take the birch logs too. And if you need more than that, I can get you more.
This might be enough. I'll have to go see. I have a few more. I also unintentionally made a tree path.
A tree? Oh, by planting pine trees?
Mm-mm. A tree path.
Oh.
So, I mean, it's good while I'm building.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely need more. Dang, I need 3 more.
How many logs do campfires take?
Not too many. I just need to get more coal.
Oh, I have coal on me.
Oh, do you have 3?
Yes. Atticus paid
crafting
me
table.
with blocks of coal.
Oh.
I also have a crafting table.
Woohoo. I don't have to go down.
I taught him how he came up to me and gave me the food earlier. I helped him make learn how to cook a couple simple dishes and just the basics of
Ooh.
cooking.
Here you go. Here's that
Thank
back. He asked me how to make like baked goods too. So I gave him a little lesson in baked goods, and but I've been told that Atticus thought that bakers were kind of useless. So now I don't know how to feel.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I should have charged him for my services, but I got excited at cooking. But he
Mhm.
gave me coal at the end anyways because he learned from you that you use a lot of coals through baking and thought it'd be the same for cooking. And so I actually have the blocks of coal on me still in my backpack because I do in fact use a lot of coal for everything.
I also use a lot of coal, and yeah. So I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe his views have changed. Hopefully.
He
Maybe doesn't
seems
think
like someone
baking
who
is so
views things as
useless
like
now.
practicality. So I feel like he would be happy with just a slab of meat.
Yeah. I mean, when I first met him, that's what he said he ate. He ate just slabs of meat. So when I tried to give him baked goods, be careful. I'll get you. Oh, got
Thank you.
Time to put the sniffies down. Are you ready?
Mm-mm.
You're gonna take a little bit, but look at him. Look at him. And they're gonna get really big.
I wonder if I'm strong enough to pick Sniffies up.
They're like big cuddly puppies, I feel like.
Because I was thinking, like, I wonder if so I have one egg myself, and I don't really want it to live by itself either, because I think it also needs a friend and a mate. And I don't know where I was going to put it. I was thinking, like, maybe it could live with the villagers in the village. Because
Ooh, I mean, it's a really good, I guess it, okay, so Sniffies look really intimidating, but they're not really intimidating at all. They're like little puppies.
the high
Big
vessel
little
has
puppies.
some, and apparently she
Ooh,
named...
she does?
Yeah. I heard, I don't know what thing she named them, but how I said I went adventuring with Ollie, he mentioned how the high vessel had one.
Oh. I don't think my ears work. Oh, were you saying anything?
No, I was like, how I went adventuring with Ollie to find the sniffy eggs. Because I had learned that he knew how to find sniffy eggs because he mentioned having gotten one for the high vessel.
Ooh, I think this is a nice little outlook.
They got a nice
we're kind of
view.
short, but...
And then they can also see Lucette's farm in the distance.
Oh, yes. But I have them like a little cover here because it does pretty well for covering. And then like open. And then I need to get water. That's what I need to do. Water! There we go.
I am worn out from today, so I am going to go to bed. But I'm going to use my room that's in your house, if that's okay.
Okay. That's fine. I'll come check up on you every now and again.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go. I'll go make sure you're all nice and tucked in.
I always take the not path down and realize there's a path.
Yeah. I do that sometimes too.
But thank you. And I had a lot of fun at the festival.
I did too. Sorry I had to leave just so quickly.
It's fine. I hope you got everything you wanted. And if you want my trading cards to like add to your collection, you can have them too. I have them at my house right now.
Oh, trading cards.
We can have a merged collection, if anything.
Yeah.
Oh, we probably should have coordinated better. We probably have some duplicates.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I have 6 or 7. I think I have 7.
Maybe I can talk with Vincent and see if I can trade some of my cards out for other ones.
Maybe. Should I get my cards now so you can see what we have in common?
No, it's fine. I'll bug him some other time.
Okay. And if you wanted to go look, they're in my bedroom. There's the little picture of me, but as like a plushie, and then above it there's shelving, and there's barrels acting as shelving, and they're in there.
Okay, got it.